When I was a teen, I didn't have a whole lot of inspiration, really. Again, cheesy, I idolized Mark Hoppus like no other from Blink-182, which has nothing to do with anything I do, but that like shithead mentality, like just like, is definitely an all or nothing, go for your dreams type person, even if your dream's to be a shitty, cheesy pop punk band that everybody fucking loves. He still fucking did it no matter what. I was kind of closeted about my art because I was really, really shy. I'm still really shy about it, but I just make myself get the fuck over it. And I knew I loved coloring, and I refused to show anyone. Even through my teen years, I would not show people my drawings other than the cute girl I had a crush on in middle school that I would draw flowers all up and down her arm. Shocking. You know, and who knew? But she would, every day in math class, because I fucking hated math, I would just draw flowers up and down her arm and talk about cute shit. But nah, other than that, like, I didn't show anyone. The few times I did, I always felt like really, like, I don't know. I promote a lot. I don't like to promote if I know I'm gonna be out. Hey, I'm out here, but don't look at me, look at my art, please. Thank you. But, and even then, don't look at that. I figured by now I would not be so shy about it. I know I'm passionate about it now, but I don't know when that actually changed. I know when I thought it, and I know when I actually went in. I was 18 when I thought it, and then I was 24 when I actually was like, fuck it, I'm going all in. All or nothing. And yeah. I've wanted to do something in art since I was like probably 9. I didn't think about a career, obviously, but I fucking loved coloring. I loved doodling on everything. I would draw flowers and boobs on everything and then blame the boobs on my brother. When I realized I wanted to like actually make it a career, I was probably 17. It didn't seem very possible or like there was any avenue to do it. I'd watched my grandmother make kind of a career out of painting. It would only work in her time era because it doesn't work that way anymore. I know I want to do something in art, but I don't know how. Painting, drawing, music, tattooing. Tattooing wasn't even on my radar. Although as soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit, this is dope. That's what I want to do. I love the business world as far as like making moves in business, but I don't like businesses. I don't know how that makes sense, but in my head it does. But art's a fun business to be in. When I was 18, I tried to get an apprenticeship and paid for one at this shop called Boneyard Tattoos. Yeah, fuck you, Trey. So I paid up front for an apprenticeship, and basically they made me their counter bitch, is what they called it. Took my money and taught me a lot of nothing, and one day I show up and they packed up the shop and had left and moved out of state. Yeah. Not devastating at all. Indulging in the most senseless acts. Competition. That's such a waste of time that like I did when I was younger, because I was always in like competition with everyone. I never realized until I got older, it's like not having any ambition of my own. It's only trying to land where the person next to me wants to land. I had no direction. It's like I just want to be as good as them or better, which is fucking stupid. It's like I want to be as good as me, whether that's winning or losing or failing or whatever. Who fucking cares? Until I got that mindset, like I was holding myself back, and I would definitely tell myself, fucking get over yourself, dude. Don't be such a fuckboy. Let it go. I'm good at helping people find their catch. I think, and probably one day I may do that. That may be like my fallback if I ever need one. I love, love, love promoting people because I like promoting things a lot. It's easy for me because it's a lot easier for me to promote someone else than myself, because then it's not me being out there being vulnerable and like, oh shit, I'm open to everything. I definitely enjoy that and it's also cool to see people that are fucking busting their ass make it and do their thing. What could be more rewarding than that other than like doing art itself, you know? I always wanted to be like some kind of mix between like Edgar Allan Poe and Salvador Dali. Like just that common weirdness and darkness, but such enlightened. I know, it's a fucking weird mix, but it's just who I wanted to be when I grew up, was a mix between those two people. I just was infatuated. Salvador Dali was extremely himself, like outside of even art. His life was just fucking insane by his terms though. Poe, I mean, minus all the opioids, the dude was a nut job. but he lived his best fucking life. He was out there fucking just doing it. Like, he embraced his art for how weird he was. He was very unaccepted throughout his community and this whole time. And being where I was from, like, even as like religious and tried to be conservative, wasn't very good at it. I was still kind of the weird kid. Why is he always writing? What the fuck is he doodling? And never show anyone, ever. Well, I've always been, I wouldn't say secretive, but I'm very private. So, and both these dudes were very private dudes. They did what they loved who they loved, and nobody else really mattered to them. I loved that. That was like, they're brilliant fucking people, but they didn't, everyone around them or their adoration, it was just like they were them. And like, fuck you if you accept it, fuck you if you don't. Same with Mark Hoppus. Like, it's like such a weird contrast, I know, but it's like, this kind of are who you are. I kind of like that, so.
What is one of the most prevalent things that affected your teen years?
Ooh. Probably dropping out, honestly. At the time, I didn't realize it until after, like, I was a little older, but it definitely changed my view on a lot of things and how I learned and just growing up in general. Because at the time, it was like, meh, not that big a deal, not that important. I still don't think it's that big a deal. It's more so like, I guess you miss out on a lot of experiences, but at the same time, I got to go do the things I wanted to do to get here, I guess. I don't know. Like, so it's like kind of a weird balance. Like, I kind of wish I could somehow do both, but obviously you can't, so. I don't know how other artists operate a lot, to be honest. Like, I know how my close friend, most of my friends are artists of some sort, so I know how they operate to an extent. But you put yourself out there, or like you drain your creativity or your inspiration, and especially for me, especially my personal art, not just like the art I make for other people. It's very, very personal, so it's kind of like, I wouldn't say overexposure, but you kind of put yourself to where you're using a lot of your mental power, a lot of your creativity, and just a lot of vulnerability. Maybe it's like a defense mechanism, I'm not really sure. I try not to question it too much because it just, like, I don't feel like there's a true answer to it. It gets intense. Like, I know artists that can create all day, and I don't know if they put emotion into it or how they do, or if they're just really good at that. I don't know. Like, either way, I'm envious of that. But after so long, like, I have to take like a step back just so I can reevaluate, one, my progress, two, am I still being true to my art form? Am I still like trying to create a voice through this, or am I, in my opinion, my biggest waste of time is creating just to create. It has to feel like it has a purpose to me, and I wish it didn't, to be honest, because I feel like it'd be, I don't like the word easy, but easier maybe, because it wouldn't be so tied to you, there wouldn't be a vulnerability there. Like, I just kind of fall back, and sometimes it'll reconnect with friends because I'll take a hiatus from everything, because I know I'm about to go through this crazy creative spell. The whole time I'm not doing art, but I am like being very critical and analytical of my art. My friend Jacob, I've been friends with Jacob for a long time. He did most of my tattoos on my arm. I actually met him at Boneyard. And then another guy that worked there, Lawrence, after those people left, he reopened the shop under a different name. I'd been trying to get Jacob to teach me for so long. He had like kind of led me along for like 2.5 years, like, I'm gonna teach you. But Jacob went to prison, and I'm like, hey dude, I want to figure out how to get in, but I know I want a really dope artist to teach me, or I don't want it. Lawrence, who took over the shop, ended up getting exceptionally good, especially from my hometown. Like, dude was killing it. So I went and talked to him. I hadn't seen them in years because that whole split up was a bad situation. Nobody wanted to see each other. Not because we hated each other, but it's like, nobody wants to live through what Trey and Jamie put people through. So Lawrence was like, sure, I'll teach you. You know, I brought him some of my art and some of my paintings and stuff, and he was like, yeah, you know, of course. He's like, you got some things you need to learn here and there, of course. And I was like, well, that's why I'm here. But he was like, you got to learn piercing first. This is kind of a shop hustle sometimes. And they'll get you to learn it. Now, I love piercing, and I think there's a lot of great things with that. I actually had wanted to be a piercer, but I wanted to do tattoo art more. So I learned to pierce from this exceptional piercer named Tammy. Me and Tammy clashed like no other, but we both met at our passion for learning. Like that was where we got along. Tammy and I are on like the best of terms now. So I got to do 2 tattoos on my little brother. Like she didn't know I was going to be learning tattooing, apparently. Lawrence never let her know. I didn't know that would be a salty situation. I'm not sure what exactly happened after I did my first 2 tattoos, and Lawrence was happy with them and was like, okay, I know where to take you now. And the next day I come in and she had fired me. So yeah, so she fired me 2 tattoos in, and so luckily there's a local shop that was very much in rivalry with the shop and very salty, and they like picked me up as a full-time artist, having only doing 2 tattoos, kind of to shit on them. And I was like, man, that's stupid. And I'm like, you know what? They're using me and they used me, so I'll take it. And I'll just be smart and only do things I know I can do until I get better. And so I did. And that shop, I'd been there for about 4 months, and I had improved a lot, mainly because it was me and my brother were the only 2 ever show up to work. Yeah. Ever. Like, the dude that owned it, he'd show up at 6 and leave at 9. And I've got a lot of love and respect for him, because without that, I lost my house, I lost my car. So I was sleeping in the back of that shop for that whole 4 months on this shitty little like recliner sofa thing, at least 4 months. And there was like a bathroom. I had to go to a truck stop to shower. It was rough. One day I'm working on my first little client that still is one of my clients to this day. Shout out to Andy, because I wouldn't be here. Because Andy let me do some crazy shit on him that I shouldn't have been doing, and he had faith in me, and you know, it came out good, but shout out to Andy. I'm in the middle of tattooing Andy's back, and they're walking out, packing shit up, saying, hey, shop's closing. You know, just, you already got the money, you can bounce. And I'm like, no. So I'm finish up Andy's tattoo, and so the shop's closed, so I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, holy shit, like I literally have nothing now. And that very same day, I got a call from this guy that I used to party with. He's like, hey, I moved to Austin. I'm apprenticing at the shop and they need an artist. Like, I know you have a job, but do you want to come out? And I'm like, dude, I will be there tomorrow. Like, I was like, I'm broke. Like, I have just enough to get there, maybe for like 2 weeks. He's like, dude, shop's busy. Just come through. He wants to hire you already, which is ridiculous. My artwork was so bad. Well, my artwork was good. My tattooing was just like, well, it was okay. So I went. That was another shit show, but it got me on my feet. That was what was important. I stayed there for maybe 4 or 5 months, and I came back when another shop opened up that was a little more stable, and I kind of planted there for a while.
What's the most common place you find inspiration?
Music, all day.
For tattooing?
Yep, all day. Mainly because I wouldn't say I'd find inspiration, but it puts me in a mindset to create. Because my mind's always running on creativity. Like, I train myself to like always have like these ideas just bubbling, and so it's more so being able to catch that train of thought, because the train's always going. It's just I got to be able to catch the train. And music definitely puts me in the, like when I'm doing certain sounds, like I'll listen to different types of music. Like for traditional tattooing, I fucking love pop pop. Like, it just gets me in that like more of a loose, more bold. And then when I do like my illustrative stuff, I love extremely like lo-fi, anything like chill hop, any shit like that will have me in my element like no other. Like, I can listen to that all day and never get bored. Like, actually, Intro by XX I could listen to on seamless loop for probably 12 hours and never get bored, because my mind, I zone out so much to that it's like I don't even kidding. Like grind mode when I'm just doing walk-ins, definitely like some old Drake, like more of the like early Drake shit, like I don't know why. That or like just extremely like Kendricky, aggressive, poetic hip-hop, I guess. Like any type of that shit's when I'm on my grind shit. I mean, obviously I love looking at other people's art and talking to artists. I'm not a photographer, I like to take pictures, but it puts me in a mindset to like capture a feeling. So it's like I use that, and then I usually go draw, because it's like you're trying to find the most natural shit out in the wild, basically, whether it's in the street or out in nature, whatever, and you're like trying to find the perfect lighting, the balance, and you just get in this mood of what your surroundings are. So it's like, okay, I can create a mood in something I draw. So I don't really have a good method for it, to be honest. I just kind of, I know this works, so I just go for it. Even though I didn't really care what people thought, a little bit I did, and that little bit of me hates that I ever cared. It kept me from jumping into what I wanted for so long, because someone made me feel away, or I let someone else's voices impact my decisions rather than my own. Quit worrying about what other people are doing. Obviously, the easy answer is don't worry about what people think about you. That's already there, fuck that. But worrying about people's time clock to success, and get on your own page and your own schedule and do what you do. Like, fuck what other people's ideas of where you should be, when you should be, and how you should be. You have gratitude and you're a good person. Not a nice person, but a good person. There's a difference. But as long as you're a good person and you do your shit and don't worry about other people's shit and mind your fucking business, you're gonna be fine. Like, you don't have to please your mom or your dad. Sorry, mom and dad. Because eventually they'll get over it and love you anyway, because they gotta. Theoretically, you shed friends every 7 years. If you're lucky, you get 1 or 2 lifelong ones, which is dope. If they love you enough, they're gonna support it regardless. So go and do you. And, you know, always take care of the people around you, obviously, but do not worry about other people's time clock to where they think you should be. You take every bit of time, or go just as fast as you think you need to be. Do it now. 100%. Don't wait till you grow. Find a way, because there's no certain way. I honestly, when I was a teen, I never even considered what I'm doing now until I got in contact with it. I was like, draw every single day or paint every single day, at least 5 to 10 minutes a day, because the only way you get progress is every damn day. Be methodical about it. Like, your social life is going to take a little bit of a dive, but fuck it. Like, if that's what you want to be, art's not really you can do it a little bit here and there. You have to be about it, which, of course, every artist I've noticed, and I'm glad, because I learned once I moved to Champaign, like, I'm not the only artist that has to fall back and kind of recoup and, like, take a little breather. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of artists creating for people to buy shit. Sure, that's good, whatever. But the real artist is creating for themselves, and people buy their stuff. You're not selling it. So as long as you're creating for yourself, somebody's gonna like it eventually. Create for yourself as much as you can, because especially if you're an artist, you more than likely have that as a coping mechanism of some sort. So fucking run with it as hard as you can, like, because you can take something that could be a negative and you can make it a lifelong positive.